This place has changed a lot since we were last here.
Not just this place. They destroyed the palace, too.
Looks like Ballastar decided to take out his rage on the city.
And use the rubble to ambush us. That bastard's out of his mind.
He's gonna destroy everything. So it's up to us to stop him.
Chapter 20 一層
Albrecht, what's the news on Ballastar?
According to reports, he has yet to capture Hollisburg. Marcus, the former head of House Siegwolf, has been killed, but his brother Emmerich is still putting up a fight.
Guess there's still a few brave people left in the world.
Just because they've managed to hold out until now doesn't mean they can do it forever. Not to mention there's always the chance Ballastar will give up on Hollisburg and turn his attention towards us.
Just remember your training and follow your orders. Do that, and Ballastar won't be a problem. Now, if you're through trading commentary, can we discuss our next move?
Until now, I figured we'd mostly rely on the element of surprise. Though I thought for sure Ballastar would have moved against us by now.
Sounds like good luck to me.
Hopefully. Now we just have to figure out how to use it.
What do you think of forming an alliance?
An alliance?
Marshall mentioned that Ballastar began ruling like a tyrant after his coup against Abramo. That was why the Siegwolves rebelled in the first place. But they can't be the only ones dissatisfied with this state of affairs.
Albrecht, did you not hear anything I just said? Our troops are more than ready for this. We don't need anyone else's.
Clara, let's hear him out, and then make a decision.
The decision is obvious. You just don't like it.
Continue.
It's safe to assume the Siegwolves aren't alone in their discontent for Ballastar's rule, and yet none of the other lords have risen up. Most likely that's a result of how ruthless he's been about stamping out any hint of opposition. But what do you suppose they're saying now?
That he's hesitating toward us, and getting his ass kicked at Hollisburg.
Precisely. We have a brief window here. If we extend the lords an offer, I believe they'll accept.
There. We heard him out. And I can already tell you where that story ends. How many times do I have to say this? I can handle Ballastar on my own.
Clara, no one here is questioning your skills. But charging headfirst into Ballastar would make for one bloody fight, even if we win. If there's a way around that, I think it's worth a try.
I knew you didn't have the stomach for this. Always looking for some clever angle. I'll say this once. We can't trick our way out of every fight. Waiting around for the safer choice is the best way to let golden opportunities pass you by.
I hear you, Clara. But squaring up against Ballastar is about as far from a golden opportunity as it gets. Besides, this alliance thing is still a long shot anyway. If it falls through, you'll get your fight one way or the other. Just be patient a little longer.
Do what you want. Just don't come crying to me.
If you're planning a meet, Hasetz would be the best place. Should put our hosts at ease to be on their own home turf, and it sets us up to strike at Ballastar.
Sounds like a plan. Then the Allied Summit will be held at Hasetz. Send a messenger and start making preparations. We've got no time to waste. Dismissed.
There you are.
Albrecht.
We're ready to move.
Remember this place? It's where we first met.
Oh, yes. I recall that creature we met as well.
Standing here, I can't help but think it feels like fate. We're lucky to have you. Especially considering everything we've been through since.
We should be off. The lords await.
Karel, Pau, Mateus, Alexandre, and even Katerina. One by one, the high houses joined forces with Eden's cause. Ostensibly, they gathered to avenge the late King Abramo. But their true motivation was plain for all to see. The protection of their own wealth and power from Ballastar's iron heel. Of such fickle things was the alliance against Ballastar born, and by unanimous consent, Eden chosen as its high commander.
How fared the summit?
Better than expected. They all signed without incident. Makes sense, I guess. They don't have much choice.
If I were you, I wouldn't put much faith in that little scrap of paper. Easy come, easy go, and all that. Don't get me wrong. It's a good story. All of Artemisia united under common purpose. Till that purpose is met anyway. Then out come the knives.
We'll worry about that later.
Won't have to. They won't have the balls. Or the knives, for that matter.
What do you mean?
When your family owns a lot of land, they make your name really big on the maps. But that's not the same thing as having actual power. Empire fell. These are just the lucky little pissants who scurried out of the way.
So our great allied army is just an illusion.
I need time. Enough to train these idiots into something real. It won't matter how many soldiers we have if I can't give an order and trust them to get it done.
How much time do you need?
A month.
You know that's pushing it. Ballastar won't give us that long. Our new allies might not even be around by then.
Even if they are, convincing them to fall in line might not be easy.
Then forget it. I said from the start I'd rather stick with my own troops anyway.
Perhaps we could arrange a memorial to King Abramo.
We're talking about training. What the hell is that supposed to mean?
As you say, the alliance is an agreement between nobles. We'll need a declaration to the public. And if we expect them to fight for us, we'll also need to make the case for overthrowing Ballastar. So, let us make an occasion of it. Commemorate Abramo's death, and in the same stroke, announce the alliance to bring his killer to justice. Rouse the public's heart.
A king like Abramo deserves to be properly remembered.
We'll begin preparations immediately.
You asked for time. I'm doing my best to get it. But you should start looking into other options in case it doesn't work.
You spent a lot of time thinking about how not to lose. One of these days, you'll have to actually try to win.
2 years ago, King Abramo of House Orsio brought the Empire's cruelty to an end. For his actions, he was rewarded with a knife in his back. And his killer's name is Ballastar Fenice, a new tyrant blinded by power and greed. That is why I, Eden, and 5 noble lords have gathered to bring justice to Ballastar and those who serve him. To them, I say this. If you have any honor left at all, surrender now. Those who choose to side with a monster will meet the same fate.
The Alliance commemorated the death of King Abramo and pledged to bring his murderer to justice. Bolstered by public support, the Alliance enjoyed a swell in solidarity. But persuading the Lords to bide their time would prove another challenge altogether.
What news?
The majority voted to move immediately.
What are they thinking?
Our troops outnumber Ballastar's. They think waiting would be a waste of time. More importantly, we don't have the resources to feed an army this size.
A difficult obstacle.
It's now or never. If we try to delay, this alliance crumbles before it's begun.
Suits me fine.
Clara.
It was always going to come to this. Ballastar keeps his troops small for a reason. They're elite, hardened, loyal. These Alliance troops don't have the experience to execute our maneuvers. Numbers are the only advantage we've got. If we want to make use of that, we need a simple battle. No extra wrinkles.
So, head on after all then.
That's right. But Ballastar's learned some lessons too. We can't count on him being reckless. We'll have to draw him out onto the battlefield.
And how do you plan to do that?
Castilian. We steal his home right from under him.
Castilian, huh?
Take that, and he won't have a choice. He'll have to respond. Then all we have to do is beat him.
You make it sound easy. But you're right. That'll draw him out of Hullisburg for sure. Okay, Clara. We'll try it your way. Albrecht, notify the Lords. The Alliance marches on Castilian.
According to our scouts, the general in command of Castilian is Hector.
Hector? That's a little surprising. I didn't think Ballastar trusted him that much.
I've been puzzling over the same thing. Alas, no answers yet.
Is everyone in position?
Yeah. We followed Claire's instructions to the letter. But there's something a little strange about all this, Cap.
What do you mean?
It's just the formation she has us in. They're not like her. She's got our forces all spaced out. Feels kind of sloppy.
We just got a message from the Lords. Their troops are in position, and the castle's surrounded.
Where's Hector?
No clue. But if I know him, he'll come out and greet us shortly.
You don't think he'll just hole up inside?
They're both bad options. I'm betting he'll take the lesser evil.
I'm not sure I follow your logic.
Robin, you've deployed your troops like I've told you to, right?
Yeah.
Good. I'll only explain this once, so listen up. The Alliance forces are lined up in straightforward formations. So we're gonna go in messy. To anyone up on those walls, it'll look like we're the weak link.
Whoa. So all this is to lure Hector out?
Now you've got it. Of course, as soon as the fighting starts, they'll figure out what we're up to.
But if he does come out, are you sure you're gonna be able to stop him?
As long as you don't get caught, it won't matter one way or the other. No matter what Hector does, the surprise should be enough to flip the momentum. Just be ready for whatever tricks he has up his sleeve.
Right.
Then we're all set. Let's move.
Robin, raise the signal. The battle starts now.